You are being asked to be more diverse. Increase your diversity at any cost. Do whatever it takes. But what does diversity actually mean? Sit back, because I'm about to tell you.
Just lead.
Companies have discovered that a more diverse workforce is more likely to get better results. Output will be higher, profits will increase, and shareholder satisfaction will improve. So, of course, companies have decided to put targets and metrics against such an idea. Because how possibly could a company improve itself if there weren't targets and metrics? The trouble is, the only way you can put a metric against diversity is if it's measurable. So companies are driving only tangible diversity. Tangible diversity is gender and racial diversity. So get more women and more First Nations people into the workforce and then we'll be more diverse. Excellent. Diversity is actually a far bigger idea than this. Before we go any further, right off the top, I want to make it crystal clear that I'm not saying that you should target these other forms of diversity and then start to ignore the gender and the racial side of diversity. Let's use Australia as a bit of an example. Women and First Nations people in Australia are criminally underrepresented in the workforce. You as a leader should be using your power to change these things in the world. You have the power to change. Make sure that you use it. So we've heard all about gender and racial diversity. But what other forms of diversity are out there? Educational diversity is when the skill level and experience varies across the team. At first glance as a leader, you might think that you just want to get experts into your team, a team of guns, a superstar team. You're quickly going to find out that that structure is doomed to failure. What happens over time if you have a team of guns is that you're going to have to assign some of them low skill, repetitive tasks. And over time, this is going to break the energy and the soul of the people that have to do this work. When you have educational diversity in your team, you're able to allocate the low skill, repetitive tasks to the people that have less skill and are newer to the role. It helps them build up their skills and their confidence and their experience. And it allows the more experienced people, the experts within your team, to guide these people and help them improve a lot faster. Your team is going to work more harmoniously together. Geographical diversity is when you have people in your team from all over the world. And this is not necessarily about racial diversity, but more so about the environment that the people grew up in. The more geographical diversity you have in your team means different angles and different views on the same problem. The mental connections that someone from country Australia is going to make wildly differs from someone that's city raised in America, and then differs again from someone that was raised during the Bosnian Wars in Sarajevo. When you have more unique perspectives attacking a problem, the solutions you're going to get from them are going to be better and more creative. Experience diversity looks at the work history of your team. I'll talk specifically to mine maintenance here. It's important to have someone that's been on site for a long time as a maintainer because they know the common errors on the plant, and with those common errors they know the quick fixes that will get that problem solved. Likewise, it's really important to get people that have been to multiple different sites to part of the team because they'll have solutions that people are using on different sites that you can use on your site that the people that have been there long term haven't been privy to. People with a military background will bring further perspective. And finally, people with maintenance background in different industries will bring even more perspective to the problems you have, better rounding out the performance of your team. I'm going to take a little break here just to let you know that I do have a Patreon community that you can become a part of. And that community is all about sharing my advice and coaching tips to you directly. So make sure you click that link down below and become a patron today. Enough of that, let's get back to the video. Age diversity is simply explained. Have some young people in your team and have some old people in your team. And then maybe fill it in the middle with some middle-aged people around there as well. With age, you typically get experience, and with youth, you typically get energy and exuberance for the job. These are, of course, broad statements because I've definitely had young people working for me that were incredibly lazy And I've also had older people working for me that seem to have missed all of the experience on their way through. There is a tendency in many industries to shuffle out the old and bring in the new. But I think that age diversity is brilliant within a team. You can use the young people to bring a lot of energy to the team and get up and go. And you can use the older people that are at the back end of their careers to provide guidance on work ethic and work quality. So I've gone through in detail just 4 different types of diversity and briefly mentioned the big 2. But then I jumped online and I found like these 33 other forms of diversity. Diversity is a massive, massive topic. Think of all of these 33 and then think about your team. And that's right, you've got some work to do. It isn't as easy as the corporate targets are making it out to be. Now you know all about the different types of diversity out there, so you should click this link to check out why diversity is so important to your team.